Class?
Yes.
You guys can do better. You can do better. Come on now. Come on. Last week, next week is fall break. Fall break. Okay? That means the teachers get a break from students. That's even better, right? Okay. It's not you guys get a break from teachers. It's teachers get a break from you people. So, let's try this again. With some excitement, some feeling. So, let's go. Class?
Yes.
Wow, that was even worse. Fine, forget you then. All right, modeling quadratic functions. Quadratic functions is any function in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, or as f of x, because function notation is the same as y equals. Now, I can clearly notice these ones because I have an x squared. A quadratic always has an x squared. Always, x squared. Okay? Roman, I know you ain't still playing with that phone, right? Thank you. So, where A, B, and C are real numbers, with A cannot equal to 0. Graph any quadratic function called a parabola. Vertex of the parabola, lowest point or the highest point on the graph. So, we can do it by hand. It's kind of annoying. Or, do you want to just graph it and find it from the graph? Let's do that. Let's put it in the calculator and just give me the answers. So, this one right here, if you notice they're symmetrical. That means I could fold them like a taco. Yes, a taco is symmetrical. Yes, it's the right side and left side. So it's not racist because I'm Hispanic, just so you know. So it's like a taco, quesadilla. It's not a grilled cheese, okay? It's not. Anyway, all right, straight down the middle right there. So it is the same on left and right. This one right here is opening up. So if it's opening up, the lowest point would be the minimum. Over here, vertex, maximum, it's my highest point. This one has my A value is a negative number, so it's going to make it open down. So this is opening down, and so this top point right here is going to be the maximum. But if you notice, it doesn't have a minimum because it just goes on forever. Same thing goes for this. The first one doesn't have a maximum because it goes on forever, but it does have a minimum. All right, so if you want to do it by hand, there you go. I don't. This is how to do it by hand. I want you guys to do this in the calculator. We're going to do Scratchpad for this. So, oh, I know everyone loves this. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go Scratchpad. Bam, here. And my function was x squared minus 2x minus 3. Yeah, x squared. So x squared minus 2x minus 3. Yes? Good. Hit enter. Bam. There it is right there. So this is opening up. So if it opens up, what should this one have? This one should have it's positive A. Very good. What about this thing down here? What is that thing going to be called? A minimum. A minimum. So let's tell the calculator to find the minimum. Menu. Analyze graph. What do I want? What do I want? Minimum. So lower bound, I just move to the left. Upper bound, I move to the right. Muy fácil. All right, so I got a minimum. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the x-intercepts. So x-intercepts, see this right here, this line? This is the x-axis. I want to tell the calculator, because I could pick it right here, I'll say, hey, that's -1, and this one looks like it's 3, right? But sometimes it's not so easy. So I want the calculator to tell me where those two values are at. So I want to find out right here, it's called the zeros. It's when the y value is equal to 0, because that's where the x-axis is. Menu, analyze graph, 0. And there's two of them here. Menu, analyze graph, 0. There's 3 points. And now my last point. Sometimes it's going to have it, sometimes it's not. We want to find the y-intercept here. Where's it going to cross the y-axis? This one is different. That's why I saved this one for last. Menu, trace graph. So if you notice, whenever I turn on trace graph, I have this little thing right here that pops up. This one just so happened to automatically start off at 0. So I can move left and right on my graph and find where that is. Okay, you guys have that on? So the calculators are super neat, so watch this. Even though I have my point over here, as long as I have trace graph on, I want to know when x is equal to 0. That's going to give me this point right here on the y-axis. So on your keyboard, once this is on, just hit 0. And it comes up with the little thing, little box, enter. And it moves my point to 0, -3. So that's all I have to do there. So I'm going to go back to my notes. So the first thing we found is what? We had a vertex. So this opens. Okay, opens which way? Is it open up or down? Okay, it opens up. My vertex. Where was my vertex located at? Remember, vertex, that's either the maximum or minimum, the highest or the lowest. Yeah, 1, -4. There we go. Okay. 1, -4. I have, what was the other one called? The zeros, right? So we are finding the zeros. My zeros were at -1, 0. And my other one was at 3, 0. Very good. My last one that I found. What did I call that? The y-intercept. Very good. Y-intercept. So the y-intercept, the x was 0. The x was 0. The y value was -3. Very good. Yeah. So when you're graphing this on your homework, you have a couple to graph. These are the points that you're going to do. So you could just pick all these off the calculator. All right, so if you're graphing it by hand, I'm using these points. So I'm going to throw in a basic graph here. So I start on my there's that one right there, which is my intercept. This one was, what was it? -4, 1? I think so. There it is. Yeah, 1, -4, sorry. 1, -4, it's opening up. Got this point here, this point here. So from here, I know that this is going to be opening up. So if I'm tracing this out, there we go. That's just sketching it. But you guys have the calculator right now to actually finish this to be able to know what shape and which direction it goes. All right, any questions? So we're going to use the rest of this time to try and finish up this assignment. You have this time in class. So don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button and support my channel. Buy stuff from my merch store.